Hello and welcome once again to the Voice of the Coast. Chris Hunter coming to you with Mac Wade, the Executive Director of the Port of Morgan City. We are on Bayou Chene right now, a few miles south of Morgan City, about 5 miles north of where the Chene meets up with the Atchafalaya River. And from there, it's about another 12 miles or so to the Gulf of America.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And we've been doing some shows showing you the impact, the environment, not the environment, but the industrial impact going on right now, the things that are going on right now, incredible construction going on, billions of dollars worth of labor going on in our area right now. But it all depends on this.
That's it.
Getting the channel at the proper depth and maintaining it. So what are we looking at here?
Chris, great point. That's what it's all about. If we wouldn't have a channel, all the stuff you were looking at 3-4 years ago, there was very little work going on. But like I say, when we had Bryce come in, Bryce is still working for us today. That's that specialty built dredge that works the barge channel. We cracked the code of the fluff down there. Nobody couldn't do it. It took a tremendous amount of effort, like I say, with the Corps, with us, with Bryce, with Halimar, to crack that code, all of us working together. At times it looked like we should have quit, but we stayed with it, and once we cracked that, then when we figured out how to get the fluff out of the way, the sand's easy. That's what we've always had, but we couldn't do nothing with the fluff. Corps got us money. All these businesses are thriving now because we're in Bayou Chene right now. You see behind we have the dredge, Lorraine hooks. They're out of Lake Charles, big dredge. They're working Bayou Chene right now. He's swinging. He's getting our 400-foot channel back in Bayou Chene. We've had it pretty much. We had 300. Francine messed us up some, but we're finally getting a chance to get it cleaned up. So the Lorraine is behind us working. It will work all the way down to the mouth to Crew Boat Cut. Then we'll probably send the Lorraine offshore to clean up the channel out there a little bit. We have, right now we have 5 dredges working. That's a lot. We were lucky if we got 1 dredge a year.
I remember those days.
It was
newsworthy to announce that a dredge was going to be working.
A dredge. We've got 5 working this very minute. We have the Lorraine working behind us. We just came out of Bayou Black. I have the dredge, Mike Hooks, finishing up on Bayou Black. He'll be joining this dredge down here in the Chene. From there, we'll go to the RM White is working Berwick Harbor right now. Y'all have probably seen the dredge out there. You say, well, Mike, I saw that dredge about a month ago, then it was gone, now it's back. It was. They had to pull it. They were having problems on the Mississippi River, up at Old River Control. They had to bring it up there to get it cleared up. Now it's back down here. It's going to finish up the harbor. We will go to Stouts Pass with it. We also will bring that dredge down around Eugene Island, down the river, to clean it up.
For people who've never had a close-up look at a dredge, what's it doing?
Okay, that dredge is called a cutter head. If you see, you're looking at it in front, you see this attachment. It looks like it's attached to the front of the dredge, and you see the big red part sticking up. That is the carriage. There is a pipe that comes from the dredge that goes all the way out, and that yellow bars hold the drag head. And they lower that drag head. That drag head can be 75 foot, maybe 100 foot long, and it's just like an egg beater. It's turning real fast, and as you drop it down and you start turning, it sucks that material up. You can't see, but it comes up the pipe, and you can see off the back end, that pipe that's floating out there. Well, what is that? That's the discharge line. That is taking material all the way from the front ray out here that's run through the system, and then we'll put that out into the marsh. So that's your typical cutter head in the industry. All this is made available with a lot of funding. This costs millions and millions of dollars. These dredges that we have working right now, we're probably well over $300,000 a day with all the dredges, a day. Yeah. There's 7 days in a week, folks. That's what it's costing us, but we're going to have our channel. We're almost there. We've got to be 400 foot wide by 20 foot deep, and the Corps is making sure we get that, because Chris says earlier that you'll be seeing all the industry, it takes good water. You need that 20 foot to get these projects out. If we didn't have that 20 foot, we wouldn't have them, we wouldn't have anything.
Now, you said 5 barges. Are they all the same size as this? We noticed we saw some smaller barges working here and there.
This is a big dredge. This is a big cutter head. We have a big cutter head in the river. The other cutter head that we saw up there is a small one. It's small, but this is a big one. The one up in the river that you saw on the cameras this morning, that was a small dredge.
Okay. All right, tell you what, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Voice of the Coast. Stay with us. Welcome back to Voice of the Coast, coming to you from Bayou Chene, right next to the Lorraine Hooks dredgers out here working on the bayou. Mac Wade, Executive Director of Port of Morgan City. You mentioned a moment ago, the way you phrased it was you cracked the code of the fluff years ago. And people may remember the fluff argument or debate, whatever
right.
you want to call it. But what did you mean by that?
Chris, it's a good question. The problem was the fluff's always been there. It's been there for years, but we would send a hopper dredge down. I mean, not a hopper dredge, but a cutter head. That's what that is. That's a cutter head dredge. There's hopper dredges, cutter heads, dustpan dredges, dipper dredges, but that operates at about $150,000 a day. And when it would go down there, it would do a fantastic job. The problem, some of the people at the Corps said, Mac, yeah, no problem. Go find about $60 million a day because you got to keep it there, because the minute you stop dredging, it falls right back in. That's not sand material. That's all the clays and the silts that come down from the Mississippi River. So, and that's what I told the Corps. I started doing some research and we found a report from the Corps back in 2002. This is in 2014. In 2002, they said we did a trial and we brought a hopper dredge in. And a hopper dredge in sucks the material up. This one sucks it up and blows it wherever the pipeline's pointing. A hopper dredge sucks it up and puts it in the boat and then goes and dumps it. I said, bring me a hopper dredge. I'm going to show you that I can do it for half the cost of $150,000. I can do it for $75,000. They didn't really think so, but they said, oh, we're going to, okay, if you can get the money. So I got the money from Congress. Congress gave me $6 million and we did a trial like for 87 days. At the end of the day, the report says a hopper dredge does work. I just cut the cost in half. Man, what about that? And I said, but I still can't afford $75,000 a day. I said, let's build our own dredge, and I'm gonna let y'all fund it. Y'all build it for me. And they said, Mac, we don't do that. So we went through the system. We were gonna build our own dredge because we said, if we don't need a hopper dredge because you're bypassing it, why pay for a hopper? Hopper dredges run $75,000 a day with about an 18-man crew on it. And Bryce, the contractor that has the dredge, with the Corps, us, and Halamar, they designed it where we could put about an 8-man crew on there. This one goes down there and works for less than $25,000 a day. They have unit rates and they have a price per yard. It usually costs $5 or $6 a yard to pump material. We do it today for 15 cents. My dredge works down there $3.65. We can afford that every day. And the Corps, that's what get the port back open. Getting rid of that fluff because ships couldn't go through that mud. They could, but sand, these big cutter heads, they're great on sand. Dustpans are great on sand. Down there it's just fluff. So any of those machines can go down there and take the place, but why pay 3 or 4 or 5 times as much money? Ours is more efficient. It's not cheaper, it's more efficient, and it works.
As I recall, the issue of the fluff, not only that there was a layer of it, it essentially was suspended in the water. It wasn't sitting on the bottom. It was up in the water
The longer you would let it sit, it would compact some. But if we're agitated, we have a jet pump and an agitation pump on it. The regular pump is 70,000 gallons a minute and a 10,000 gallon jet pump, jetting down, and the other one's sucking at 70,000 gallons, and it brings it up into the water column, and then the tides and the currents take it out of the stream. And all these other machines will do that, but just at a lot more expensive. So it's been very, very good. The Corps, it's been a good deal for the American taxpayers. The Corps has been satisfied. They were so happy. We had a 3-year contract. They came back and gave them a sole source contract, which is hard to get with the government. And they gave them a sole source because it just works perfect. It works good.
Mac, thanks for your time. Thanks to
my pleasure.
Thanks to Les Ruff and Chad Hebert, our pilots on this trip. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you again next time on Voice of the Coast.
Thanks again.